So for the ones who fast forward through my intro and want to get straight to the topic, well, here you go. I want to know if you guys think Mayweather will take a rematch with Cotto. I really want to know. Do you really believe he would take that rematch with Cotto? I honestly believe he would not, for a few reasons. And the most important reasons, which for me is only two, would be one, Cotto did fairly well against Floyd in 2012. Now, it wasn't a close to the end type of fight, but Cotto made Floyd look not so good in that fight. And many can argue Cotto was coaching himself during that time. Having a amateur boxing trainer in Pedro Diaz in his corner, I don't think did very much for Cotto's career in that time frame. So you can argue that Cotto was really training himself and coaching himself through the fights. And it did show that, because he would commit the same mistakes, or he wouldn't capitalize on the advantages that he was taking in the fight and kind of shied away from them, and had a tendency to forget about head movement. He hesitated too much. When he had a good strategy going, he was not able to capitalize on certain situations when he had the upper hand. Now, Freddie Roach, as we all know, faced Mayweather in 2007 when he had Oscar De La Hoya as his fighter. Now, De La Hoya was the closest one to defeat Floyd, and it was a close split decision. Many people think it wasn't, many people think it was. A lot of people thought De La Hoya won. Look, De La Hoya did really good between round 1 through 6, like halfway through 6, and then he started to fade away because De La Hoya was past his best years for sure, and he just couldn't carry on the game plan that Freddie Roach laid out for him. Freddie Roach knows how to beat Mayweather, but at that time he didn't have the fighter to do it. He had a fighter do it halfway, but you have to be 100% all the way through to beat Floyd. So in reality, he's not just giving Cotto a rematch, he's also giving Freddie Roach a rematch. And combining those two doesn't seem like a good idea for Floyd, at least from his perspective, because you're talking about giving the same trainer who had the best game plan, that came closest to defeating you out of all the other trainers that have gone against you, and facing a fighter who pretty much coached himself, give you the most trouble in your career. Now you're combining both together, especially now when Cotto is in better conditioning, better confidence. He's let go of the ghost of the past that have haunted him from those losses. He is ready to just start fresh. Now, all this, I don't think Mayweather wants any of that. I think he's gonna be good. Now, does that fight make sense? Well, yeah, because who is Floyd gonna fight? He has nobody left now that he's left Golden Boy and doesn't want to do any business with Top Rank. Who does he have left? He is pretty much fucked as far as trying to sell a fight, because he's got nobody left. I mean, the ones he does have left, they're too risky for him, and he's not going to take those risks. That's just not how he is. If he grows a pair, then maybe he would take the Cotto rematch and it would be a mega fight. And the second reason why I believe Floyd will not take the fight is because of the Cotto and Freddie Roach partnership. So far, it's looking like a great partnership and a great team altogether. Now, remember when Freddie Roach was saying before the Martinez fight that he knew how to beat Martinez, but he didn't have the fighter to do it. And he had Cotto this time, and it was going to be different. And look what happened. Now, you can also remember that Freddie Roach said the same thing about Floyd a few years ago when he said, I know how to beat Floyd, but I didn't have the right fighter to do it. But now I do. And he was talking about Pacquiao at the time. He was referring to Pacquiao being the fighter that would beat Floyd. And he also said something similar to this right before Cotto was going to fight Delvin Rodriguez. He said it's not about having the blueprint, it's about having the right fighters. Now, Freddie Roach's game plan did work, and combine that with the right fighters to do it, I really think they have a great chance of beating Mayweather. But this video is just focusing on, would Mayweather even take the rematch? Not about who's going to win the fight or who would have the advantage or who would do this better or who would do that better. I'm simply talking about, would Floyd even take the fight? Anyways, I want to know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. So until next time, see you later.